Hello, welcome to another video. This is yet another video in the series meant for challenges. Today's challenge is more of just a starting point in which I make everyone engineer. More specifically, it's just a setup designed to have multiple claims of engineer. So we're going to reveal ourselves as engineer. Looks like there are going to be 2 other claims. That's fine. In fact, I know there's 4 possible, and 5 should be theoretically possible. I just think at that point the 5th is a fake or a would-be fake, and they decide better. They decide that 4 is enough and they shouldn't join in. I suppose we can determine the upper limit, at least, of how many engineers there could be. And with 15 crew members, you can have 6 Gnosia. So in theory, that could be 6 fake claims of engineer, the 1 real engineer, the bug, and the AC follower. And that makes 9. Now that would be amazing. 9 claims of engineer in a 15-person lobby. Instead, the most common amount is merely 1/3 of that, and that is how many we have this round. I'm going to aim for at least 4. I don't think 5 is possible, but I won't give up. Now, at this point, with me as the AC follower posing as an engineer, I think voting out Setsu is fine. Either Chippy is the real engineer, in which case Gnosia already have an advantage, or they were a Gnosia and the real engineer Setsu is still around. Okay, so Jonas is the captain of the interstellar ship DQO, but does that mean we've been traveling this entire time without knowing he was the captain since before we docked on Luan and picked up some people and so on? Oh, okay. Jonas's update is that he's crazy. That's interesting. Now we'll disguise ourselves. I'm thinking we just say someone's human. I picked Yuriko here. It doesn't matter too much given that we are the AC follower. Okay, so she is starting small talk, something we ourselves are trying to learn, and it's about romance. And it's funny because I believe it's targeted towards Stella to find out her romantic conceptions. Okay, so I was voted out. I don't know why Setsu voted for me. They were Gnosia, and I said Yuriko was human, so they would know that I am the AC follower, but that's okay. The other explanation is they thought I was a bug. Okay, so now this should be Interesting. The plan is I am Gnosia, and I wait for another Gnosia to falsely claim that they're engineer, and then I myself claim to be engineer. That way there are already two fakes. The real one will come out. There will be three, and a fourth, ideally fifth, but I don't think it's possible to reach five. Interesting, Setsu's got my back, and this is what I've been waiting for, someone to get some engineers to step forward. So Gina steps forward, says they're a Gnosia. I'm gonna go ahead and put my own name down for engineer, and we get a fourth, no fifth. Again, don't think it's possible, but 4 engineers is a pretty good outing. Okay, so this is rather unfortunate. So it turns out Rockio was the bug, and Yuriko, well, was not. And I said I investigated someone else. I said I investigated Stella. I said they were human. But that means I'm not the engineer, because for me to be the engineer, I'd have to have investigated Rockio. Theoretically, I could have investigated Yuriko, and Rockio would be the one who got deleted. But since neither of those things are true, everyone should suspect me as a fake. And there it is. So much for Setsu having my back. I've been declared officially a definite enemy. Not necessarily Gnosia, but simply not the engineer. Oh, and Comet is also proven to be the real engineer, because they were the ones who investigated Rockio, and Gina did not say they investigated Rockio or Yuriko, in which case she cannot be the engineer. That's unfortunate that they picked me, not Gina or someone else. Okay, so I'm liking this. An immediate request to step forward by Stella. Rockio will be the fake engineer from our side. I will join her, and there will be 4 total. Okay, so I don't want to target the engineers yet, for multiple reasons I can think of now. One of them is likely, or more likely, to be a bug. 2, if I get the AC follower out, that just means we have one less ally, really. So I think just taking out someone else is probably the best move. So Comet scanned me and says I'm not the Gnosia, so they are either the bug or the AC follower. Likely the AC follower. Okay, it looks like Comet is drawing some attention. As we know, they are not the real engineer, but they might get voted out here anyways. Yep, they're gone. Although they could have been the AC follower, given the fact that they could have also been a bug, voting them out is nice and eliminates a potential threat. Let's see if it worked out. Okay, so right here, Setsu says something about testing different settings. So again, I am to believe that they have the same capabilities as the player and therefore would have a much easier route to discovering what each row does, and of course the bug, what their row does. But yeah, again, it took 20 loops for her. I don't know, that's a lot. Now, we don't have the exact average or anything, but if we just take 3 days to be the most reasonable average for a loop, that seems pretty safe. Then she spent about 60 days working out what a bug does and testing out the settings. 2 months. She spent 2 months for this. It's funny. I think that she could have done it in just a few loops if she controlled the setup and was the bug herself a number of times, maybe. Okay, so for those who want to know, this is rather intricate. Remnon was once kept as a pet by essentially SQ's mother, in a sense. Basically, her mother created these bodies for her to inhabit, to extend her life artificially, and instead SQ grew a consciousness and became her own person. However, in this loop, it seems that that was not the case. I believe in this loop, SQ is that person who kept Remnon as a pet. The transfer between bodies was a success, and so Remnon, having either known this or in fear of this, is not liking it. Okay, so we are declaring Yuriko human while Setsu is not. They are saying that Yuriko is Gnosia. What's interesting about this is since we are Gnosia, we know that we are right and Setsu's wrong. Therefore, Setsu is not the real engineer, and that leaves only Gina to be the real one. Looks like the push on Rockyu, despite some push against Setsu, was enough to get Rockyu iced. We'll say goodbye. Okay, so we already know who's the real one and the fake between Setsu and Gina. For now, we'll just wait it out a bit longer. We'll say Remnon is human. And it looks like Stella picked up on the fact that Setsu can't be the engineer since we eliminated Yuriko. That means Yuriko was not Gnosia and Setsu is a liar. I actually didn't try to do that. I had picked Yuriko not for that reason, but it worked out this way. And now I believe Setsu will be voted off. Okay, so I gotta be honest, SQ, I didn't spare Remnon on purpose, it just worked out that way. So, sorry Remnon, I guess.